Hello rabbits, this is the little baby bunny, and this video is all about my birth.
Hey rabbits, we can proudly introduce to you our little bunny rabbit that is now sleeping here on my chest. We hope that she's going to stay like this for the rest of the video, in which we want to talk to you about how the birth went, how it was for the two of us becoming parents, and yeah, how we felt on this really special day. I think I'll just start telling how it all began because Eric was still at work. And it was a really beautiful day. It was the 18th of September and I was just outside in the supermarket and the weather was beautiful. It was this really beautiful orange fall weather and it was a really nice temperature. I was wearing my fluffy yellow pullover, my favorite pullover that I love to wear in autumn. And yeah, all the leaves were falling down in beautiful colors and I had this super nice feeling, this warm feeling inside of me. And I was like, if this would be the day where my baby is born, this would be perfect. And like right after I started thinking that, I felt something weird going on. I mean, I was already in labor before, this like preparation labor that you have. But at this day, this labor came quite regularly. I tracked it, I started tracking it, just putting it into Excel, the times where this labor waves came. And they were like every 7 to 10 minutes, quite accurately. And I was like, I should maybe tell Eric that something is weird. And this was when I wrote you. Hey rabbits, it's Trixie. It is 1944 now. Today is the 18th September 2015. And I think my baby just decided that it's time to come. I had my last doctor's appointment today before the due date and she was like feeling how the baby is inside of my belly and she already said that, this is not gonna take long anymore because it's like really down already. And yeah, since I'm home, I had like this weird kind of it was like a wave that completely flushed over me and I cleaned everything. I prepared the baby bed, I prepared the baby room, I vacuum cleaned the whole flat, I cooked some things. I just had this building my little nest for the little one feeling. And since like 3 o'clock in the afternoon I have pretty constant labor. It started with labor that was like every 25 minutes, then it was every 20 minutes. I didn't look at the clock all the time, but since 1715 I documented the times and it was precisely every 10 minutes. And right now I'm down to every 8 minutes. So the labor that I'm having is definitely some sort of regular. So it comes in a certain rhythm, and I think that this is the birth labor. It actually hurts pretty bad. It's like getting a period. If you're a girl, you know what I'm talking about. And it's like a little bit going into the back. It's like pretty much going into the legs as well. And yeah, it just hurts pretty much. I also need to go to the toilet several times and I just feel like something is happening. And I wanted to share this moment with you before we go to the hospital, because I think this is what we will do next. So how did you feel when I wrote you? When we didn't know if this is how it starts? What did you think?
Well, I didn't know that it was going to be something continuous and how it was before, but she told me that she was feeling kind of weird. So I just said to myself, oh fucking shit, we have to go. And I just went home and I tried to be as fast as I could. It didn't sound that it was like really an emergency, so she was having some kind of pains, but it wasn't bad, like really, really bad. So I just went home, like I tried to be as fast as I could, and yeah, she was there telling me that we should maybe go to the hospital and stuff. And yeah, we already had everything prepared. She had a bag with all the stuff that she needs for the hospital. We had some cash on hand, so if we needed to take a taxi or whatever happened. So yeah, we just decided to go to the hospital, and yeah, she was still fine. And I knew from other stories that some girls, when they're pregnant, that this takes a while. You know, it's not like when this happens, it's like it's gonna be in the next couple hours. No, that this takes like, it's a long process since you start feeling like this until when it's over. For her, it was insane. It was really long. So you can tell us about that.
Yeah, so the weird thing was that I wasn't sure. You know, they tell you in the birth preparation course that when you have the labor coming from 5 minutes to 10 minutes, it feels really strong. They are so painful that you cannot speak anymore. And I was still on the phone with my mother, like, is that it? I just didn't know. And when I wrote Eric, I also told him, just go out with your friends. I don't really think that this is it, you know. Just when it didn't stop for hours, I then told him, well, maybe you should still come home now. I'm feeling weird. Even if this is nothing, I would like you to be here. And then we were like figuring out what to do, if we would go to the hospital right away or just wait a little bit longer. I was phoning my nurse that took care of me during my pregnancy, and she was like, I don't know, it sounds like birth is starting, but at the same time, if you don't have so much pain, try to stay home as long as possible. And I just tried to eat something, and we actually made a little video for you.
So yeah, hey, hello everyone. I just came home and we're waiting for the baby. Yeah, hopefully today's gonna be the day. If not, it's gonna be around tomorrow. Who knows when it's gonna come, but yeah. Pretty cool. I'm really excited about that.
The baby is still in my belly. We're just trying to eat a little bit, and I'm sitting on the couch. I have this app on my phone tracking the labor to see like how frequent they come and how strong they are, how long they last. And everything is really excited. The funny part is that I'm completely calm. I feel like on drugs. I feel like everything is super funny, and I don't really take this seriously. Just the periods in which I have the pain like put me back to the floor and show me that this is actually something serious going on. But apart from that, I'm super calm, super relaxed, and just super happy that my little one is gonna arrive, and I cannot wait for it anymore. We just tried to wait a little bit longer at home because, well, it doesn't make sense to just sit around in a hospital. Hospital is not the best atmosphere, so we just try to enjoy the time at home as long as we can, and then we're going to call the taxi and go together to the hospital. Let's see what the day will bring. It is 9:15 right now, so we waited quite a while already, and the labor comes like every 7 minutes now still, but the pain got a lot worse, so it's really exciting and I'm really happy. So to sum it up, the labor started like 3 o'clock in the afternoon on the 18th, and when we went to the hospital it was already 11 o'clock in the night. Since Eric still doesn't have his driver's license, we found a taxi and which brought us there, and I went to the hospital and I was a little bit like excusing myself, like saying, sorry, I'm not sure if this is it. I can still walk, I'm still feeling fine, but I have this really weird pain coming every 5 minutes now, and I just don't know. I felt stupid, you know. I was like, you have to know when your baby is coming, but I just didn't know. So they calmed me down, saying that this is completely normal, and they made a CTG. I'm not sure if it's called CTG in English too. It's like when they record your labor waves coming and the heartbeat of the baby, and they had me connected to this machine.
How do you feel?
Feeling fine. I'm really excited. What's going to happen now?
Yeah.
Now we have to wait 30 minutes.
What did the doctor tell us?
That we just have to wait and see how strong the labor is already.
We're here, hello. And that's a mirror. You can see me from down there filming. And let's see how it goes. Yeah, my hair looks fine. I don't make a mess, it doesn't matter. So yeah, say ciao.
Yeah, I was just waiting for the labor, and actually, yeah, they recorded labor every 5 minutes, and they told me that, yeah, well, it seems like it's starting, but when they examined me down there, they didn't really see that much was happening yet, so they just told me to stay overnight. And I was fighting for Eric to stay with me, but we would have to pay a lot of money for that, like a family room, and I didn't really wanted that because I would like to spend more money for the baby and not for me feeling well, you know, and well, so they didn't really take care of that, so I needed to go through this alone.
I could say that from my experience when I was in that room, you know, there's this whole week in the hospital that you have for pregnancy, and when you're there, it's kind of funny because you hear all the other ladies in the other rooms like screaming like as hard as fuck, and they're like ah all around it. You're like, what the fuck? Is this a slaughterhouse or something? It's it's really funny to see that, you know. And you're there. It's a little bit scary because you know that this could happen to her, but yeah, you could hear the screams of the other girls or people coming into the hallway and like, oh fucking shit, oh my god, no, and they're like it's a chaos in there. It's like it looks like some kind of war hospital or whatever, but yeah, that's the whole experience that you have there. And
it's not very encouraging when you're like in the beginning of your labor, knowing that your baby's gonna come, and you hear all the other girls screaming for their lives, and you're like, is that really that bad?
Yeah.
And when I did the CTG, I was still having worse pain than I had at home, and I was like, okay, I guess it stays at this level. There was like bad waves and okayish waves of pain. Ooh. And I thought that it would all the time stay like the bad ones. But I was so wrong.
I went home that day and she was okay. She had these small pains from time to time, but nothing really bad. And and when I came back on the next morning, I went like 6 o'clock in the morning or something like that.
Yeah, I think you were there by 8, but you got up at 6.
Yeah, but she was already in so much pain. You can tell about
I
it.
had a beautiful night, and I also made some videos about it. You'll see them now. Hey rabbits, it's Trixie again. I'm still in the hospital. I have a room now. Unfortunately, Eric needed to leave because otherwise we have to pay a lot of money for him to stay here, and so we just decided that I would stay the night. The birth is in progress, but it's still not too much happened yet. I just hear babies crying in the background, which makes me kind of jealous. So yeah, I'm just gonna spend the night here and see what the night brings. If the labor gets much worse, I have labor every 5 to 7 minutes now, and yeah, well, I just have to stay here and sleep a little bit, find some rest, and in the morning we're just gonna check again with the CTG stuff, and hopefully the little one is gonna come. I really want her to be here, and I miss Eric, and I feel a little bit alone, but well, this is my room. This is how the bed looks. This is a monitor with my phone next to it and water, and there's actually a baby bay already. I wish I could put my baby in there already, and there's like something to change diapers. There's all my stuff. All the stuff I brought and all the stuff that we don't need right now, and well, it is indeed a little bit frustrating, I have to admit that. I am a little bit scared. This light is not good. Wait. I have to admit that I hoped that it would be quicker, that something would happen tonight already, and like right now it sounds a little bit like, let's see if something happens tomorrow, otherwise we're just gonna send you home. Which is a little bit annoying. But yeah, let's see, maybe overnight something happens. I am really curious what the next day will bring. Well, this day actually, it's like 1:30 in the night right now, so I'm basically really just gonna try to sleep. This is what I'm wearing, my beautiful time to start a new life, time to start living t-shirt, and well, just jogging pants and socks, very important. And this is the baby belly. This is the baby, which is hopefully soon with us. Hey rabbits, it's me again. It is 3:30 in the morning right now, and I didn't sleep at all so far because labor fucking hurts. It hurts really bad. I actually thought that I would take this a little bit more tough, but no. Whenever a labor wave hits me, I'm dying, and I feel like throwing up. I feel like my lower body is gonna fall off. Something's gonna tear apart inside of me, and it's impossible to sleep like that. So I'm just trying to like breathe against the pain and calm down, but there are definitely easier things than that. And the funny thing is, like right now I can talk normally to you, but when I am in this pain wave, the whole life around me, the whole world just disappears. It's like
It's only me and the pain, and you have to breathe against it, and breathing against it hurts itself, and it is really exhausting. And after all of these labor waves, I'm completely exhausted all the time. I feel like I could fall asleep immediately, and then the next one approaches again, and it all starts over again. I'm like, I'm not ready yet, I cannot do this again. And it just starts. You don't have a choice. So yeah, well, actually right now there's one coming, I think. So I'm just gonna no, it's fine. Oh. I'm just gonna lay here, stare at the wall, focus some point, some imaginary point at the wall, and try to not die from pain. This is definitely the worst pain I ever had already, and it didn't even start yet, but the pain is definitely getting worse. So I hope that tomorrow we're going to see a little bit more, there's going to be some progress, and that the little one is going to come really soon. I love her so much. This all changes nothing in my love for her. I love her even more now because I know that this is stressful for her too. And yeah, I'm just sitting here drinking a lot of water. I have a hell of a thirst, and yeah, I ate some banana chips because I felt like I should eat something, because I always felt sick getting this pain. And yeah, right now I'm just gonna get back into bed. I'm just walking around, going back into bed again, going to the toilet, going here, going there, because I don't know what to do else with myself. So I just decided to make this video as well. And yeah, it is really tough, I can tell you.
I like until 3 o'clock in the morning, the labor waves were bearable. I didn't die from them, but from that point on, they became so much worse that I needed to throw up after each of them for a while. And I then went to the nurses saying like, is that normal that I need to throw up from pain? Really? Is this gonna stay like that? Good thing that no one told me that there were 12 more hours to come. I think I would have died or just killed myself right away, because it was really horrible. At this point, I was already so exhausted and like dehydrated. I couldn't even drink water. I was completely fucked up, and I didn't sleep the whole night. So when Eric came, I was already in this room where you deliver your baby, and I was just like curled up with like a puking bag next to me. I looked like shit, and I was feeling like shit.
I just came here. I just arrived. Right now it's 7:54. So it's almost 8 o'clock in the morning. 128, 29. You're coming. You're right there. No.
And yeah, I couldn't even talk. I was just focusing on breathing because this shit hurt like hell, and this was just the beginning of it. So you came back. What did you think when you saw me like that?
I didn't even know that you had this experience that bad. You know, I thought she was kind of joking. That yeah, I had a really shitty night and stuff like that. I was like, yeah, sure. She had a really bad night, that's it. But when I came to the hospital and I saw her, oh fuck yeah, I really felt it. She had this bag. She puked like 30,000 times, I don't know, in that bag. And yeah, she was...
Not in the same one.
Well, yeah, I know. And yeah, she looked like, I don't know, like an undead person. Like she was from another world. She was a zombie there, and she was feeling really bad, and she had these pains. It felt, yeah, you could feel her feel it in her voice that she had this really strong pain, because she was like ah, but these screams were so strong and so emphasizing pain, you know, like you could feel it. And
it was not just the screaming. I didn't scream like ah, as you would do when you're really mad at someone or so. My voice was at the same time vibrating because I didn't have the strength to scream, but I needed to scream because the pain was so bad.
So tell me, what do you feel?
I feel horrible. I feel like shit. And I think shit feels even better.
What do you mean? What do you mean by shit? Just explain to me exactly what you feel.
I'm throwing up a lot. I cannot eat, I cannot drink, and this pain drives me crazy. There's no second where I can just relax a little bit, and I just want to go home, like, and see, can I come back 3 days later when I refreshed my energy? And
but I have to go through this right now, and it's just too much. I feel like I don't have energy anymore to withstand this pain that's always like bringing me to my knees. Ow, here we go.
So the hospital looks like. I know this is not relevant. Just still, it's really the worst pain in the world.
It is.
From 1 to 10, how much would you say it's painful?
I don't know. A number that doesn't exist. Let's walk around a little bit more.
Yeah. Say ciao.
I'll make a special video about labor if you're more interested in how it feels. But let me just tell you in this video that it is horrible. I always thought that people exaggerate when they tell you about birth and that birth is super horrible. They don't. It is horrible. Maybe this sounds bad to people that are expecting a baby and I don't want to shock anyone. Maybe for you it is super nice. Just rainbows and unicorns and stuff. But for me it was hell.
Yeah.
I really thought for a second that this could be hell for a woman. You know, you go to hell and you have this pain forever. This would be my personal hell. I had this thought. And I also thought that if they had a knife there, I would cut the baby right out of me right now because nothing is worse than this pain. And if they would give me a pistol, I wouldn't be sure if I would shoot myself right away. This was original thoughts that I had during the labor, which took until 3:45 in the evening, getting worse and worse. And they actually had to give me a medication to make the labor even worse because they didn't come as regularly as they should. And at some point they finally told me, okay, it is time to get the baby out now. And I was like, okay, now it's time to get the baby out. What am I doing the whole time? But well, this was this other kind of labor where you're actually allowed to press and hope that the baby's gonna pop out or whatever. I wasn't taking care of anything anymore. I didn't care how they would get it out as long as they would get it out and I would get rid of this pain. So when they started delivering the baby, how was that for you?
Well, before that, I can say that there's nothing that you can do there as a guy. You're just standing there, hearing her screaming, and that's it. There's nothing else to do. You can check your phone, maybe. You can look out the window, but there's nothing else that you can do. It's just her pain. She has to deal with this. You can be with her there, hold her hand and stuff like that, but actually she didn't want anyone to touch her, so I was like, okay, well, I don't know what to do then. And yeah, when they started delivering the baby, it was kind of weird. I don't know how it's in other countries, but here in Germany, where we had it, where we had the baby, there was just one nurse, and it was that was it. She was the one bringing the baby. I thought it was going to be like a doctor with 2 assistants and people dressing white and stuff like that. I don't know. I thought it was going to be something different. I wasn't even wearing something protective, you know. I was just me like this. Yeah, when the baby starts coming, it's insane because I was there in the room the whole time and I could see her coming, you know, and it's crazy. I always thought that the babies would come looking up, you know, that she would come looking up from her. But she was looking down, and when I saw her looking down, I was like, oh, freaking shit. I really didn't imagine how big she would be, you know. She was huge at the time. And yeah, well, I wasn't scared at all. I wasn't...
I was scared.
Well, yeah, I wasn't scared. I thought it was going to be fine.
There's a mini human coming out of me. I was fucking scared.
Yeah, well, the nurse seemed to be fine with this, so it was normal for her. And yeah, at some point another nurse came in and tried to help because she had some trouble getting out.
Yeah, she was too big and they tried to get her out and it didn't work. And this last part of the birth normally takes like 10 to 15 minutes and I was in there for 45 minutes already. So, and this is really exhausting. You have to press and they tell you to press again and you don't have any energy to press with.
No.
It's just like you have to do sports or something and you're completely exhausted. You're down to your knees and they tell you just 2 more kilometers to run. And you're like, no, it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Your body refuses to do that. And I was struggling my ass off to do what they told me, and still it didn't work because, well, some bodies are just structured in a way that is more difficult. I'm a really slim person, and my hips were not large enough to get the baby out, actually. So they need to cut me open. I tore apart. That sounds horrible, but I just tell you how it was. And, well, then finally, baby was there.
Yeah, and as soon as the baby was there, the room it's flooded with people. You know, like the door opens and then you have 2 doctors, 5 nurses. You have everyone in the room. It looks like a chaos in there, and yeah, everyone's taking care of something. And yeah, so that was kind of cool. You know, that there were only 1 or 2 people in the room, and then all of a sudden, like boom, everyone is there and everyone's doing something and taking care of the baby in a really good way. So
yeah, I mean, it was kind of good in one sense, but bad in another, because this is not the normal case. There was actually something wrong. The baby had swallowed a lot of, how is that
amniotic
called?
liquid.
Amniotic liquid, exactly. And she had all of this in her lungs, so she needed to pump out the lungs. They needed to like try to make her breathe correctly, because she was like, she didn't scream. They just took her away from me, which was horrible. I had all this pain still going on from the cutting down there, which was really not nice during birth. I barely felt it, but when she was there, I could focus on that pain again, which was really bad too. I was noticing that I was bleeding a lot, which is quite uncomfortable. And yeah, they just took my baby away. I could still see it. It was still in the same room, but I didn't hear her cry. I didn't hear what they said because I was completely exhausted. But, well, at the same time, it was good that I was so exhausted because I just couldn't care. It sounds harsh, but I couldn't care. I was like, I hope my baby is fine. I hope everything is okay now. But I was also focusing on myself, like, finally this pain is over. I can breathe again, which was amazing. And I just trusted them that they would do the same thing. But it was horrible to know that they are pumping out her tiny, teeny lungs and that she has a lot of trouble. And during birth, also her umbilical cord was around her neck. And a lot of things went crazy.
Then another guy came later, and he cleaned up the place, and he was taking care of her. And everything went fine.
Yeah, and then finally they gave me my baby. They put her just on my chest, and I was told to nurse her, which didn't work at all. She was just screaming as if I wanted to choke her at my naked breasts. But I heard that this is normal. It's really difficult to teach a teeny tiny baby to nurse right away. And while I was holding her, I was like stitched up down there, which was actually really, really uncomfortable. But when you have your baby on you and you just experienced labor pain, you don't give a fuck about anything anymore. I just thought that no one ever in my whole life would give me trouble again, because I went through labor. I went through hell, so what else in life could make me stumble again? Which was a really cool and strong and encouraging feeling. And I just held her, and I felt so nice. I felt so proud of the two of us. Like, she survived this, I survived this. It's really you can really call it surviving, because you feel like you're dying. Everything is so weird and surreal and horrible, and then you're done and the baby is there and you did it together. And I was just holding her and like shaking her around to calm her down, and she was so beautiful and nice. Newborns actually don't look beautiful. They look a little bit ugly.
All of them.
And I was like, yeah.
I was always thinking to myself, like, okay, is my baby gonna be beautiful to me? Because I always see all the other babies and they look like aliens, and I don't know, everyone's like, oh my god, it's so cute. It's like, fuck no, that's horrible. What the fuck's wrong with you, you know?
Yeah, and our baby also looked a little bit like this.
Yeah, she looked really weird. She looked like something completely different to what we look like. So it was okay, well, that's not my baby. What the fuck's that, you know?
Of course, you love her with all your heart, but at first you're a little bit irritated by the looks of a little baby, because they had to get squeezed through a really small tunnel, and this makes their faces look a little bit like like completely crushed, and her nose was a little bit uneven. Everything was like a little bit shifted because of birth, because of the troubles, and her skin was like gray because she swallowed all this this water, and she was not feeling good. She was actually sick. But after a while, her cheeks got rosier and her face like adjusted, and she got really, really beautiful. And of course, we loved her like crazy. But
Yeah.
it's just a little bit irritating in the beginning. Like, okay, that really looks like a tiny alien, our little tiny alien.
So it's so cute and stuff, but it's like it could be better, you know.
Is it gonna unfold?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, then I was carried to my room. I was still really exhausted. I didn't sleep the whole night. And then this torture of pain. So actually the only thing I wanted to do is sleeping. With or without my baby, I didn't really care. If they would have told me, we need to take your baby away for a while, why don't you rest a little bit, I would have been like, okay, fine. And actually this is what happened. She was still monitored because of the water that she swallowed, and they found out that she had some infection values increased, so they needed to give her antibiotics. She couldn't sleep in my bed, in my room. She needed to be monitored overnight. They wanted to put her on a aspiration machine, stuff like this. She needed an injection into her little forehead. It was horrible. She had all these bandages around her, and we actually stayed in the hospital for 10 more days because of this infection, which was really, really bad. So this was a really bad infection that could just happen. It's not my fault, it's not her fault, it's just something that sometimes happens to newborns. And of course, Eric was again not able to stay in the hospital because we would have had to pay it.
Yeah. So I had to work the whole week.
Room. Exactly, and you've worked. How was that for you to work and then in the evening come to us?
Well, a lot of stressful time because I had to go to work, then I had to go to the hospital, then to go home after that, so that I could maybe clean the house a little bit or do stuff at home like cook or whatever. So I was really exhausted for that week, and but it paid off after that. So yeah.
We decided that he would not take vacations because we would need these vacations when baby Pi was home. Because then we would enjoy the time much more than just being in the hospital, you know? In the hospital, they were taking care of us anyways, and I wanted him to be with me when we were home. So we decided that he would work and come after work to me because the hospital was quite close to his working place, to our working place. And the time in the hospital was really hard. The first days passed by quite quickly because I was still really exhausted and just adjusting to my new life situation. Just like, I have a baby now, what can we do with it? And I learned a lot from the nurses there, which made it way more easy to get things done and going at home then. But like at the 7th day, I felt like the ceiling was crashing onto my head. I was so tired of seeing the hospital all the time. I felt like these people are stealing the time, the first life days with me and my baby, and I just have to spend them here. I wanted to take her home, to show her our life, to be there for her, to be the mother. And like this, there were so many people having their hands on her, and she was not completely mine, you understand? It was really kind of horrible, like psychologically horrible for me. But I learned a lot, and then at some point, finally, they told us that her values were better now and that we could go home. And we left the hospital on the 27th of September, finally, and we took her home. How was that for you, when we finally carried her out of the hospital room?
I was exhausted and I was really happy, that's all I can say. And then, we just went home, and if you think about it, it was really sad because her whole life was spent in a hospital. But after that, everything just got better. It
was definitely a really, really life-changing experience. Not only having a child right now, but also giving birth to one. I cannot really recommend it because it was fucking hell lot of pain. But after it, you feel like you're another person. You did something in your life. You are different. When you went through this, you are strengthened for everything that's coming up. I was always scared of making phone calls, for example, and right now I'm just grabbing the phone, phoning someone, if someone is bitching with me, I'm bitching back because I know that I am a mother now. I have to protect my baby. I went through birth with my baby and no one can harm me anymore. Maybe it sounds a little bit arrogant right now, but I don't mean it in an arrogant way. I mean it in a strong way, a way that you face life and it's really, really cool, and I feel much stronger now. And this is what I would say is really, really cool about birth and being a mother as well. The wounds that I had were healing quite quickly. I didn't have much pain from it. And also the baby belly went away quite quickly. There's still a little bit of stuff going on. I'm still not in the shape I was before, but I cannot really complain about it. I think I was quite lucky with it in general. And yeah, I'm just trying to adjust with the baby, come back to my old life partly, and adjust to the new life partly as well. And we're, I think, doing a really good job with it.
So yeah, that's all we can say about our experience with having a baby so far. Of course, there's still a lot of stuff more to say, but we had to keep it short. And yeah, I hope you guys have a really nice time. Have a good day, and
I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you liked our experiences. Just write in the comments what you want to know. We can make a baby FAQ if you want. I will do another video about how the labor felt, and about how it is to live with a baby, if it's really as exhausting as people tend to say. And yeah, we will see each other really soon. I hope you liked seeing little baby Pie from the back, at least. It's really cute to have her here. She hears my heart. She is close to me, and I think she loves us a lot, and we love her even more. And yeah, I wish you all a very nice day, and I hope you liked the video. See you really soon.
give us a like. See ya.
Bye.